South Africa have taken an early advantage against England as a successful spin squeeze booking the robust display with a bat to set up a comfortable triumph. That is the intro of Abai's report for this particular review series of this particular match. Please go look at it on cricketfanaticsmag.com. South Africa have won by 62 runs in the opening ODI. We're going to talk about it on today's show. That's what the show is about, of course. If you guys want to call in and have your say too, the link is in the description in the live chat for you guys to click on it and join us and have your say and give us your thoughts on this particular match. South Africa winning the first ODI, excellent performances in this match, so we're going to get into it as soon as possible. We're going to have a fan panel for you guys as well today, so it's a really exciting show. Always going to be my favorite part of the cricket of our channel is doing these review shows. It's probably one of my favorite shows to do because of the reactions we normally get. So please get involved, smash that like button, click that subscribe button as well if it's red. Shouldn't be red. Please click it. That subscribe button looks something like that. Just click it. Subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos as well. Please, guys, I'll even show it to you again so that you can do it. Also, comment in the comment section and also become a fan of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. So please go ahead and do so too. Click on that particular on that link in the live chat. Also become a patron if you want to help us promote South African cricket. That we are trying to do that as best as possible. We want to try and help South African cricket grow. We want to try and help also promote the game. So you could be doing that with the Patreon account. Get involved with that. It's very important that you do so. You can help us help cricket in South Africa. And also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates. Like I said, a buyer's review report is up. So go ahead and give that a read. He summarized it quite nicely in that particular report. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video and let's review the first ODI between South Africa and England. A very good evening. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid. What happened here, guys? I think I posted this twice. Okay, let me just delete this quickly. I posted something twice on Facebook and it's going to get the double the views. That doesn't really matter, does it? But yeah, this is the review of the first ODI between South Africa and England. South Africa batted first, as you guys will know if you watched the game. If you haven't, I'll give you a quick summary. South Africa batted first, chose to bat first, and scored 333 for 5 in their first ODI. Particularly, it was a 74. Malan scored a slow strike rate of about 74 for his 57 of 77 balls. He struggled to score free at a free flowing rate. A lot of people expected him to. He'd only just 5 fours for his 57. Then we've had the likes of Markram coming to the party. He finally shook off that nervous 30s and scored an amazing 77 of 61 deliveries, 9 fours in that particular match. Built a beautiful partnership with Rassie van der Dussen. I would say a match-winning partnership between the two of them. 109 with Malan and 151 with Markram. Those two particular partnerships were crucial to South Africa, obviously setting a nice, good, decent total on a difficult pitch. And then Miller came in with a cameo. He scored a quick 14 ball, 24, 4 fours. And that helped South Africa in with 333 for 5 in the 50 overs. Let's talk about the pitch a little bit. The pitch wasn't necessarily a pitch that a lot of people would say you could clear the boundary on. It was the ball was coming slow onto the bat. Bowlers were bowling a lot of slower deliveries and catching out the opposition batters. It was a difficult, tricky pitch to bat on from a free flowing perspective to want to hit those big shots, etc. You could see only 2 or 3 sixes were hit in this whole game, I think, from both sides. So it was a tricky pitch. It didn't allow England to play their natural attacking brand of cricket that we all obviously all wish we played. They couldn't play their style on a wicket that they prepared, so there shouldn't be any excuses on their side. Um, but overall, a very good performance from South Africa. I particularly like the way we built the innings, and this is what I was talking about from a South African point of view. I've always wanted South Africa to be a not necessarily an attacking team, full out, all out attack, or all out conservative. I wanted slack bang in the middle. I wanted an adaptable approach. I've always said that from the get go. I've always said I wanted to see an adaptable approach in our style. I think we have players that are adaptable. Aiden Markham, all of those guys. They are Rassie van der Dussen can be that too. I mean, he's our best batter by far. I mean, we know that, and we've said it so many times. I know there's been attempts of people saying that he should maybe get dropped. Even I fell into that trap not so long ago when I was thinking about him maybe getting leaving the team for someone younger. But he's proven it over and over again that age is but a number. So it has made me think differently about age when it comes to cricketers. Um, I have to think about it a lot more logically than just looking at the age. It's also about other things too. But very well done to the Proteas. I mean, Andrik Nokia, well done to him as well. He bowled pretty well. I still feel that he needs to maybe just find some control to be more accurate, more consistently, and with his stock deliveries, of course. He does tend to obviously go down leg or sometimes or bowl too full and then gets blasted to the boundary quite easily. So I would like that to improve. He did take 4 for 53. A very good performance from him. The spinners as well. I think Tabrei Shamsi bowled pretty well today. Considering all the criticism he has been getting online, I think he pulled it back quite nicely. That's why I said it's okay for world class players to have a couple of down games. You're going to go for being world class is about also finding your way back to 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 the stage or to the level that is expected of you. So it was a good performance from him as well. Lungingiri bowled excellently as well. Just a quick injury update that I want to give you guys. So Andile Peklakwayo was ruled out of this game after he collided with Keshav Maharaj for concussion. And that's why he was replaced with Dwayne Pretorius. And Dwayne Pretorius could bowl because it was a concussion replacement. So just to give you guys a quick update on that. Okay, let's get into it right now. I'm gonna bring on some guys to come to have a chat with me. I don't know who else is going to be joining. Okay, we've got two currently that are going to be joining us. I've got Justin with us. It's been a long time since we've seen him. Welcome to the show, Justin. And we've got Seppo with us. Are you ready, Chips? He's still eating his snack there and revitalizing after the game. Are you okay there, Chips?
Ready to go. Nope.
Okay.
Yep, this side.
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, let's get into your thoughts before we get into the live chat. Guys, it's gonna be tough. You know, these review shows, comments coming thick and fast. So please, guys, get involved with the super chat. The super chat is on right now. It's always on. So just go ahead and get involved with the super chat if you want us to read out your comments, your questions, or the answers that you've given in the live chat. But also, we were going to open up the call lines very soon. After Justin and Tsepo give their assessment of the games, we're going to open up the call lines for you guys to be able to call in on the show as well. So let's start with Justin and then we move on to Tsepo. What is your main points of the game? What were you happy with? What were you not so happy with?
Good evening, all. It's been a long time. Honestly, I just feel what proved to be very key for this tour, and I hope that we get to see more of it among the three different formats, is we never allowed England to settle into their attacking style of cricket. One of my biggest problems heading on into this tour is England starting to play this very attacking brand of cricket, and they're playing very high explosive. And what was evident when we saw the tours of New Zealand and we saw tours of India and all of these recent games, it was pretty evident of not allowing England to settle into their rhythm of play, allowing them to find their lengths, allowing their spinners to attract advantages on the slow pitch, allowing the batsmen to score runs freely. And I thought Keshav Maharaj did a fantastic job. I think he starts off let's just give him credit. Let's spend a minute or two just giving him credit where it's actually due, because I think to suddenly captain a big tour like this in the absence of Temba Bavuma, I think that's fantastic. I think he showed genuine leadership skills, which makes me excited for this group going forward. Actually, that I think we got a lot more leaders in that current squad that we actually all realize, and I think that's actually very beautiful to see. Now let's speak about the game itself. I think batting first was a very good decision. Pitch was always going to be slower as the game went on. I think it's quite obvious. But what was beautiful is we landed the first punch by making sure the first 8 to 10 overs, we only lost about 1 wicket. So we made sure that we managed the situation properly. We dominated the opening bowlers of England and we managed to make sure that they don't settle with the new ball. They were struggling to find the links and so forth. They were struggling to find rhythm. And we made sure that we kept them on their toes. And yes, sometimes it's not always guns and blazing of trying to be attacking. That's what Boucher spoke about years ago, being smart cricket. And I thought the batting alone was a smart template of playing smart cricket. We were still being aggressive. We were still flowing with all the runs, but we were playing very clever. So I thought that was very much key. And then when we started bowling, Raj in his interview they all start speaking about using the width of the field, which is large boundaries, which I thought that was very key of defending the total. Because normally on a large field, it's very difficult to defend. And to cut off your large boundaries and so forth, I thought was actually very, very clever. How he utilized the bowlers, how he utilized Nokia at the end, I thought it was very crucial. I think with the injury of Petlakwa, it makes it a little bit difficult to make a plan B, plan C, and I thought he did a phenomenal job about that. Again, we applaud him for that. And I just thought he was clever and just putting himself in to slow it down. So England, there was parts they looked in control, but they were never really, really in control, as in they were never really ahead of the game. The only argument you could say was probably the first partnership, which was over 100 runs, which is brilliant for them. But since the first collapse, England was never in the game.
It's quite true, Tsepo. I mean, I'm seeing some positive comments over here. If I'm just scanning through for the approach that we had with the bat, which to me they didn't necessarily seem like an attacking brand of cricket that everybody's been asking for necessarily, but it was composed. It was reading the conditions well. I'm reading the pitch, and this is why I've asked for a middle ground when it comes to style of play. What is your thoughts and your assessment of this particular game? Who stood out to you? Where is the improvements that can be made?
Yeah, and you said it's in your last little chat here. It's all about just reading the conditions, and that's what the South Africans did very, very well in this situation. I can remember, I think it was a T20 game against the West Indies last year around this time, when there was a very slow pitch and we were struggling to get boundaries in a chase, and we just needed to. We didn't have any other gears to shift to. We kept trying to power the ball to the boundary. But here in this innings, we really started to see how Rassie van der Dussen, Aiden Markram, Janeman Malan were able just to manipulate the field with their shots and not get pinned down. And that's what the South Africans did in the batting that England couldn't do. And England couldn't do it, I think, because of really disciplined and very good and smart bowling. Literally from the get-go, from ball one, Keshav Maharaj was difficult to get away. Lungi Ngidi was bowling very, very straight, not offering any width to the England batters that really like to play across the line and have a lot of power to do so. And you could see that the line was nowhere near outside off stump, very close to the body, forcing them to play to the leg side where there was protection. And I mean, there was even a big gap when Tabré Shamsi was bowling on the offside between points and mid-off. So yeah, it was clinical. It was a clinical display. You could see there was a clear plan, and the South Africans came out on top with good planning, in my opinion.
I mean, at first, when I was watching this game, I was looking at the score, and I was hoping for 350 on this pitch. I was hoping that they would get to that. I was a bit concerned when it ended 333. I think David Miller looked a bit upset about that as well. I think he felt that maybe the batters at the end could have helped him a lot better to get the runs a little bit further up on the, because we don't know with England. England can chase almost any score on any wicket. That's what we assume. So I would say minimum 350. If South Africa can get minimum 350 more regularly, I think they are in a very good space, because I feel their bowling attack is very good at defending these totals. And that's what we need to be able to do. I think we always need to bat a little bit better than what is the average and what is expected on the ground. I think that should be the aim, to look beyond that, not just to get the bare minimum on what is the average on the ground or whatever the case may be, or what is expected. I think we need to go beyond that. But I can't fault our batters too much. Only you can, maybe a little bit of criticism can go towards Janneman Malan, if you are not aware that this is how he bats. Now, I've said it many occasions. I've said that Janneman Malan is the type of batter that bats deep. That should be his role for the Proteas. Bat as deep as possible. And if Quinny the Cock on the other end can come and score quick 40s, quick 30s, quick 50s, quick 100s, whatever the case may be on the other end, it is the perfect synergy, because you've got then a batter that can bat deep, that can really hold the innings together if there's any collapses that happen. And that's what I think Janneman's role in this team is, and I think that's the role that he should take moving forward. Now we can still see that there's issues against spin with Janneman. He's found ways to survive, like I've said again, found ways to survive against his weaknesses and not dominate against his weaknesses, which is something that I probably will improve as time goes by and as he plays more games. But I think that opening partnership is looking good. I'm happy about this opening partnership. But Quinny needs to come to the party now. It's about time that he steps forward and steps up and says, you know what, guys, I'm a senior guy. I'm a former captain as well. I need to take responsibility. Everybody else is coming to the party. It's my turn to come to the party too. Now, in an ideal world, you'll look at it and you'll be like, yes, but when the others don't score, then Quinny will score. And when Quinny doesn't score, then the rest will score. We can't always think like that, because you want every single batter, obviously, to put in the best performance that they possibly can. Now, there's going to be questions about that approach and that thought and that mentality. Is there anything you want to add there, Tsepo? I can see you want to say something.
Yeah, I just quickly wanted to mention just something about the South Africans players. Just adaptability today was very good. A curveball was thrown with Pedro concussion. Got Dwayne Pretorius on. Aiden Markram also held the fort with his bowling, and it was something that sort of kept him in the side for a long time. But now we can sort of see the value that like Aiden Markram sort of brings to the team as that extra bowler, as that batter that can offer so much. And I just want to ask, guys, when do we start calling Aiden Markram an all-rounder? I mean, he took 2 wickets today. It's not like he took scrubs either. It was literally Bairstow and Stokes. So, when do we start calling this guy an all-rounder? I know the selectors consider him an all-rounder. Temba Bavuma mentioned something like that in a press conference. But yeah, Aiden Markram as an all-rounder at the top there. Key.
Yeah. It causes a little bit of a problem, Justin, and I want both of you guys to maybe answer this question. When Temba Bavuma's fit, I don't see him coming back into this team straight away. I wouldn't be happy with that decision. I would think that he would need to get some sort of warm-ups under his belt or some games under his belt to prove that he's in form to be able to take some spot, because everybody at the moment is in form. The only person that's not is Quinny de Kock currently in the top order. Klaasen doesn't deserve to get dropped. David doesn't deserve to get dropped. Aiden maybe needs another couple of innings to maybe solidify that spot 100% as is. If Aiden gets another 50 in this series, in this ODI series, it's gonna start putting questions in front of everybody, because we're gonna have to think about it, because he's offering with the ball too. He took 2 wickets today as well. Bowled well today as well. Did his role. Did what he was expected of him. And it's exactly what people have been asking for him to do. He's starting to find that rhythm and that role in the team. So what happens when Temba's fit? Who gives way, Justin, in your opinion? Or because, I mean, we saw Keshav being able to handle it today. He captained very, very well today, I feel. Especially that the wicket of Moeen Ali, I think, was an excellent move with him and Shami. With him and Shamo, sorry. Not Shami, Shamo. Shamsi. Ooh, late night shows, guys. Well, I think it's the first time we've done such a late show. But anyway, Justin, you want to weigh in on that? Smash the like button. There's 30 odd people watching. I want to see 30 likes on the video, please.
I think what is important for any side is no batsman really should be feeling that they are settled and they're entitled to be in the side. I think there needs to, whoever there is, it needs to be a fair competition for everyone. Everyone needs to feel it. There's no such thing as you guaranteed your spot in the side. As you put it beautifully, Khalid, is you got to work for it. We know who the informed players are. We know who our better players are, but you don't mind a friendly competition for Markram. You don't mind if Pavuma's fit in a while, you don't mind having that competition to put that grip on there. But then you also don't mind using him to put pressure on the cock. Because for me, my question mark needs to be on the cock, because the thing is, he's a senior now. He's no longer, this player. He's made his debut, or he's got 20 games underneath his belt, and we need to give him some time to settle and so forth. He's been around for quite some time at the moment. So I also do feel that he needs to feel that there's competition. Because what we must also remember, and unfortunately the viewers that know me from previous videos is probably going to laugh at me now, and they're probably going to criticize, going, you got something going with Carl. But it's absolutely true. You got to think, you got Carl Ferrain is coming through the ranks, who is a superstar in a long time. So you also need to go, maybe the cock needs to feel the pressure that there's a Ferrain that's waiting to replace. There's a Pavuma that needs to, we all know Pavuma plays well, is a fantastic player. So you also need to, so that's why I say, so my opinion, the cock might need to have the question mark also. I know everyone likes a left and right hand combination. I think in the ideal world, that's your preferred opening pair. But then it also doesn't help trying certain tactics if certain players isn't playing well or in form. And like we said earlier, can you rely on a player that's inconsistent? As in, when the players are not doing well, he does well. When the players are doing well, he doesn't do well. You can't have that. When you're playing your world's best teams, your stronger opposition, you need to bat as a team. You need to bat as a pair. If you bowling, same as bowling, there's no such thing as one person bowling getting wickets and the other bowling is partners is busy relaxing or on cruise control. You're both attacking. You're all attacking as a pair. It's like a pack of dogs. You go in groups, and the same goes with batting. It needs to be the same, because, be honest, because there will be a game where we're going to have a collapse. There's going to be a game where the conditions is going to be absolute horrible for batting, where you wish you don't want to be there. So do you want a guy that's inconsistent, or do you want a senior that's stepping up to the plate? He's putting pressure, there's pressure. Because at the end of the day, as a coach or as a captain, there needs to be that lovely headache of, I've got 20 players to pick from, or I've got 10 players to pick from. And right now, like I said, you've got a Ferrain that's coming in, you've got a Bavuma that obviously we need to fit him somewhere if he's fit and playing well again. But then you've got to put in other players like Tristan Stubbs. There's many other players that's also busy pushing for that spot. And you got to remember, you got this Devil Brevis in the future. So someone along the line, someone's got to have to make way. And that's why, again, the question mark needs to be on the cock, if you ask me.
Seppo, that's a strong statement from Justin, and I actually, to an extent, agree. There needs to be some sort of, there needs to be some. What I'm saying over here is there needs to be some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Accountability.
Accountability is for Quinton de Kock's poor performances when he has been performing poorly. But then again, it's Quinton de Kock, and then I think about it, like, I'm listening to what Justin's saying, and then I'm like, but it's Quinton de Kock, It's very difficult to think about that. Currently, everybody's in form except him. So when Temba comes back, it's gonna be a difficult decision to make, and I don't think that dropping a person for that is not like for like, I don't think that's a good decision. Like for example, dropping Temba for Klaassen, who's in form currently in that middle order. I don't think that's maybe a good decision. Because we need back end hitters, especially when you're chasing. If we were chasing 350, that was a good question actually asked. If you're chasing 350 and you had to pick between Temba Bavuma, Hendrik Klaassen, and who was the other person that I said? I missed it now. Oh yes, yeah, and Karl Verreynne. Who would you pick between the three of them? So it's a good scenario maybe to throw in there. I understand that there's doubts about Quinton de Kock, but I just have this feeling, for me personally, it's still Quinton de Kock. So for me to doubt him is difficult, even though I can see that there's maybe a question mark over his recent performances for South Africa in white book in all actually these recent performances for South Africa. He hasn't and in World Cups he hasn't necessarily been the guy that really stands out for us. And there is a concern over there. But this guy will score 100 next game of 48 balls, and then we're not talking about him anymore. So I think this is a particular game where you can kind of forgive him because the rest of the team did perform well around him. If the next game he performs well and the rest of the team falls apart, then what we're going to be saying then. So we need to be very careful with the way we think about the situation. And this was only a scenario that we thought about with if Temba Bavuma comes back, what are they going to do? So that is just a question that I just wanted to throw out there.
I also want to answer this question because I think the way we're thinking about this is all wrong. The vocab we're using, cricket connoisseur, yes.
It has been a
Comes with
while,
the
hasn't
bad
it, gents?
times and the good
evening.
times. Respect. But yes, as I was saying, like I think this dropping terminology, guys, I think we should do away with it because Lungi Ngidi is a case study of this whole dropping thing. Out of form for a while, you didn't see him in the IPL, but he was still in the side, still in the squad. Then all of a sudden in India, last T20s, this man is going crazy. This man is looking good. Man has all the variations. Man is on point. And I think the way we need to think about this is if you're not on form, you're not on form, mate. Like we want to get the best out of the side. That's why we have depth. That's why we need to be adaptable. Like right now, Quinton de Kock, look, he's not doing badly. It's not like he's going out for ducks. He's just not doing great. At least he contributes a cheeky 29 there. But yes, he does have the explosive power. But yeah, he's not undroppable. Guys, he's not undroppable. He's a player just like every other player there. He offers what he offers. He has tons of potential. But if he's not reaching that potential, why force him? Like, we're done with that now. We're done with let's get our best 11 on paper. We're done, guys. Like, you can see how we're switching up the sides. Test captain is a different thing. The whole ODI side is a different thing. Riley Rousseau is in the T20 side now, guys. We have depth. No one should be sad about Quinton de Kock sitting out a game. He sat out games against Ireland before. And now we're like, oh no, it's because we're trying to save him for it. Nah, guys, if he's not on form, he's not on form. He's a professional. He understands. Temba Bavuma, if he has form now, he comes in, he needs an opportunity to show something. So yeah, rotation. Nothing wrong with rotation. Let's call it rotation, not being dropped, just being rotated. You see, you still have a contract. You're still in. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're coming on now. You might have missed the conversation or at the beginning. I just posed the question. We were praising South Africa for the performance today and said good performance from the batters, etc. But I posed the question because we have a big problem with captaincy at the moment. Temba Bavuma, our captain, being injured, and we know that Temba gets picked in every single team, regardless of and that's been the case when he's fit. So when Quinton de Kock is fit, because I personally believe that this is our best batting lineup currently. I know I might be in the minority with that, but I personally believe that this is our best batting lineup that we by Chepo, by the way. Our best batting lineup currently. I think this is our best top six, in my opinion. I think it's the most versatile top six that we have. We have guys that can turn it on, turn it off, be conservative, not be attacking, turn it and bat deep. Two versatile batters from 1 to 6. Honestly, David Miller, Heinrich Klaassen, all of them. I think they're all very versatile batters. So I do believe that this is our best batting lineup currently. But when Temba Bavuma's fit as the captain coming back, who goes based on the current form of players? That was the question. So
Right.
I know maybe if you're sitting and you listen to it us midway, then you might have gotten the wrong impression. Smash the like button, please, guys. We've got a lot of people watching the show. Aaron, let's get your thoughts on that first before we move over to England. Let me just get your thoughts on that.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations to South Africa. I thought I would get that in there. I was meant to be here at the start of the show, but yeah, the podcast went went
no
on
problem.
for longer than expected. So yeah, I do apologise about that. But yeah, it's an interesting conundrum, isn't it, to say the least, for the Proteas. I'd argue in terms of the balance, that top six probably is your strongest. But as you said, with the leadership factor coming into it, Temba is your captain for the 2023 World Cup. So he has to be in there. And it is between the two openers, isn't it? Let's be honest, because you can't replace, say, a Miller or a Klaassen if anyone wanted to. They're completely different players to Temba, and they're in the middle order. So it would have to be one of the top two. The problem with saying drop Quinton de Kock, he is an X factor, first and foremost. We mention it, and you can see it in the comments as well. The fact that a lot of people saying he'll probably score a century the next game. And it's true
Yeah.
because he is that kind of player. But then you've also got Yanaman. And Yanaman is a very, very talented opener.
Especially
So-
nowadays.
Especially in ODIs. He is. I mean, if you're going off of current form in 2022, and I did see Werner's stats, and he was averaging 50 since 2020, is Quinton de Kock.
Mhm.
If you're going off purely 2022 form, you could argue that replacing Quinton for a series or two could be a viable option. I don't see South Africa doing that, though.
Nope.
How on earth can you drop Quinton de Kock? He's one of the most explosive players on the planet. So, again, that's not up for us to really decide. That is up for Mark Boucher and, of course, the leadership in that South African unit to discuss and solve how they see fit. But it is an interesting dilemma, isn't it? Heading into that next World Cup.
Yeah. And I guess that the major question will then be next will be the ICC. I mean, I can not easily, but I can see them doing something like dropping Aiden. And I wouldn't, or Klaassen. And I don't like that thought process because I think that this current team is very, very, very balanced. The way this team is currently, like I like Rassie at 3. I've always wanted to see Rassie at 3. I thought it was the best position for him because it gives him enough time if there's a collapse to take his. No matter what the scenario is, the scenario suits Rassie van der Dussen coming in at number 3, in my opinion, because I think that if he can bat with freedom if there's no pressure. Like we've yet to see Rassie come in when we 200 for 1. You know what I mean? For example, 200, 220, 230 for 1. Rassie coming in, and then he can just go and play with freedom. We've yet to really necessarily see that happen. So we're waiting for that, for our openers to do that. And I'm sure that Rassie will be able to handle that. And I like him at 3. And he's our best batter, and normally you want to see your best batters at 3. So for me personally, I think 3. I like the versatility of Aiden. Thank God he got a 50 half century today. It's something that we've been waiting for. He's been having this pretty 30s for so long and then going out. And today we actually saw him kick on, get a good score, play well, run between the wickets, perfect. His game against spin has improved so much, and that's going to be vital because we forget also that aspect of Temba's game. Temba is a very good player of spin. So I do think that his return is going to cause some issues, but that's a conversation that we don't have to have right now. I think that's a conversation we can have when
I
it
was going to
happens.
say, you have just won an ODI against the current world champions, but I must say, I know we haven't really spoken about England yet. That was not a performance worthy of a world champion outfit and defending champions heading into the 2023 World Cup. And yeah, this has not been a great start to the Matthew Mott era. I must say, it seems like England have taken a massive step back. You know, the India series was disappointing enough as it is, but this is a side which has been characterised by the explosive and dynamic nature of the batting. And for the first 30 overs of the game today, going at 5 runs and over It's like being back in 2015 or 2016. So, yeah, big questions for England to answer. Heading into the next ODI, of course, no Ben Stokes now. After he's bowed out from ODI cricket at the age of 31, that's another conversation for another episode, I suppose, in terms of workloads and the international schedule and how ridiculously packed it is as of 2022. Yeah, England's in a lot of trouble here. But at least we have got Old Trafford next, and we have a decent ODI record there. So who knows? Maybe it could be 1-1. We'll have to wait and see. As the heavy
So
roller
the-
joins us.
Yeah, as Ravi joins us. So I do have a big question for you, though, Adam.
Go on.
And particularly about style of play. England always speaking about the aggressive style of cricket that they want to play. We even seeing the baseball getting thrown around, for example, with the Test cricket. Is that the way you see it as a fan? Is that how you want it? I've many occasions I've sat here on this channel and said, I'm not all for this fully aggressive style of cricket. I like balance. I'm a guy that likes the yin and yang. So for me personally, I want to see an adaptable brand of cricket, because in occasions like this, when the pitch is not necessarily allowing you big boundaries, slow wickets, not necessarily allowing you to hit massive sixes every single over or every second over, hitting a couple of sixes every second over or so. It's calling for twos. It's calling for boundaries, good timing, the good cricket strokes. You saw how Joe Root played today. He stood out today because of that type of the way he performed today. And his approach with regards to his wrist movement and all of that. And people who are actually, I've seen a narrative of people wanting him out of white ball cricket completely. Particularly T20s, we know he doesn't get picked because of that, because of the mentality that we've seen. They want an aggressive style, and they don't believe that Joe Root can play that style. I have seen people say no, but one-day cricket's fine because there's enough time. But there has been a slight narrative and a small fan base that would say, but no, Joe Root should be out of the team. I think there was even quotes of him speaking about it as well, saying that he might be keeping someone else out. And he's worried about who he's keeping out in the team. He actually said that recently.
Sorry, Joe Root said this.
I think Joe Root said this.
Nah,
if I'm
surely
not
that was Ben
mistaken.
Stokes. I think that was Ben Stokes'
Was
exit
that Ben
interview.
Stokes?
Yeah, sure, that couldn't have been
Oh,
Joe Root.
okay.
Joe Root walks into
Okay.
the England ODI team. We need him as an
Okay,
anchor.
so maybe
and-
I was wrong about that. Maybe it was Ben Stokes that said that. I heard incorrectly. Late night, guys. But Joe's style of batting fits perfect for me personally. When I'm watching it, I'm saying, but Joe's Root's batting fits perfectly for ODIs. I like him. He's like he's a type of batter that I would like. We have someone, I wouldn't say similar, but I'm saying that has that type of approach in Rassi at 3 that can take his time, play the strokes, doesn't necessarily have to clear the boundaries, and gets the runs sticking over. So the approach in ODI cricket needs to be different. But I want to get your thoughts on that style. I'm more of an adaptable style of cricket person that wants to be able to see how cricketers adapt according to conditions, and conditions dictate the way you play, in my opinion. That's what I believe when it comes to cricket. Maybe that's an old way of thinking. So I want to get your younger mind into this and get your thoughts on that and yours on and that style.
Yeah, it's funny you say younger. The hairline certainly doesn't make me look younger. That's as a result of England and Warwickshire and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. But in terms of the whole England adaptability and identity debate, it is an interesting one. I think Owen Morgan, actually, I think his departure and his retirement has been massively overlooked, because obviously in terms of the leadership, England have lost their best ever white ball captain. No one can ever surpass the great Owen Morgan in terms of both runs and, of course, in terms of those leadership skills. So it's a massive void for England to fill in the leadership department. But in terms of what he also provided with the bat in hand, and we saw this expertly in the World Cup, the knocks against Afghanistan, for example, he was almost that hybrid in the middle order. He would knock about those ones, those twos, those threes, and accumulate alongside Joe Root, but he also had that ability to kick on from overs 30 to 40. England now don't have that. And what we do have is Liam Livingstone, who is fantastic. He really is. But he seems to be very focused on being this power hitter at the moment. He only has one gear, whether that is in T20 cricket or ODI cricket. And that, for me, doesn't quite work for England. I think that has actually unshifted that balance, I suppose, that we used to have with the likes of Morgan, Butler and Stokes in that middle order. So I think with England, I would like that, not anchor, because you can't have an anchor anymore in modern ODI cricket alongside Joe Root. There's not enough room for two players to go in there with that low strike rate. But But I think England could do with someone relatively experienced in that middle order, maybe a specialist batsman. And I just want to throw two names out there, if I may. One of them would be James Vince, who has been there and done it before as part of the World Cup squad, can also bowl some pretty handy medium pace as well, as he showed in the Ireland series. So Sam Hain, I've just ruined my next one. So James Vince could be an option. And the second option would be a man that we saw in the Lions tour, a certain Samuel Robert Hain, the man with the highest list average of all time, Warwickshire's all-time 50-over leading run scorer. I think England should go with one of those two. If we're talking about the future, we need a dependable, reliable, middle-order batsman who can score 40, 50 runs at decent click. I'd go with either James Vince, or if I'm being incredibly biased and because the heart wants what the heart wants, I'd go with Sam Hain and bat him at 4.
Okay, let's move on from that. Okay, let's get Rassi's
Rassi,
comments.
gonna say,
Yes, Rassi. Rassi, welcome to the show.
starstruck Rassi.
Ravi, let's get Ravi's thoughts. And then I want to go back to Justin because Justin's been quiet for a while. We haven't gotten to him yet. He's sitting there patiently. But Ravi, let's get your thoughts on the game. I was talking complete hogwash, of course, about Joe Root. That I thought he said that. I don't know why I thought he said that, but I have seen a narrative I have seen narratives on social media of calling for him, which I don't understand. But okay, Ravi, that's why I brought it up. But Ravi, your thoughts? Were you entirely happy with this performance, or were there some negatives maybe that you saw in the game that we need to improve in, etc.?
No, I saw a fantastic opportunity for Keshav Maharaj to play centre for the Springboks. That was a fantastic tackle of Andile Fekhlukwayo standing at log on. But I'd say that was my only criticism and perhaps the most entertaining part of the game, really. And
I missed that. Do you know that? I missed that.
No, I honestly thought when Keshav was going for the ball, I said Keshav is finished here. There's no way he's going to survive this because Andile is just this massive individual. He went straight for Andile and Andile just flew. And I said, okay, that's the end of Andile today. But brilliant performance from the Proteas today. I think I expected a bit of fatigue setting in the England camp, largely because it has been an industrious, very busy 6-week period for them. If you think back, they had New Zealand, they had India very recently, and now the Protea camp arrived a little over a week ago. We also, I work with an international firm at the moment, and there's always this talk of there's this heat wave happening in the UK at the moment, and I knew that would have a fundamental impact on how the guys were playing today.
I heard that it's a record today. What's the
40 degrees.
Yeah,
It
40
is.
40
degrees.
degrees. Yeah.
It is
So now-
sweltering. It's 40 degrees.
40,
It's too hot.
Yeah.
Don't go to
Now,
Paul Iron to watch a game then.
Don't go to Potterstone. Don't go to Potterstone. Don't go to any of those places because that's exactly the conditions that Yanaman and Rusty would have played in it at some point in their
Entire
career.
season.
This is like a cakewalk for them, unfortunately.
The
But,
other one's like, yes, I'm at home.
yeah, no, he was feeling it. I mean, you could actually see the resilience there. But in fact, if you look at the England innings as well, I think Bairstow had to stop a couple times. They had some cramps there. I mean, it's expected in heated conditions like those. But fantastic performance from the Protea camp. I think it gives us a lot to consider, a lot to think about. Especially with the World Cup drawing closer and closer. It is next year, the 50-over variety. And I think Chepo mentioned something along the lines of a rotational policy at the moment. It seems that is the case. I don't see them dropping Quinton de Kock anytime soon. I would say that if they are going to make changes for the next match, more than likely you'll see Kyle Verreynne come in for Klaassen, and not to say that Klaassen performed badly today. I thought he looked great in the field and what have you. But it's quite possible that Verreynne will come in for Klaassen, and more than likely we'll see Dwayne Pretorius come in for Fekhlukwayo. Because I doubt the physio or the doc would clear him to play the next match. In
It's
light
highly
of the contract.
unfortunate for Andile because, I mean, he just got back on form with the bat, and you know, like people are starting to actually call for his name in teams. I've seen it actually today when I put up a question about people selecting the best 11s. I've seen him back into the teams again. So Justin, a bit unlucky over there, but can you just maybe touch on what Ravi's had to say there? Maybe add some things or any new points you want to make?
Look, I think let's start off earlier what Aaron has said with England. I think he's very much on track there. I think what he must also just play into account is maybe England's fixtures has just been too long for them, because I think my question mark when I'm listening to these conversations is, has England really given themselves time to assess who's their replacement for Ian Morgan? Because if you want to go into a rugby sense, in rugby, normally there's that little break. They'll have camps and they'll start inviting 30, 40 different players from different parts of the country, and they would do camps, assess the options what they have before naming their squads. And if I put my cricket cap on, I don't think England's giving them their time to recover from the Ian Morgan period. And I hate to hurt Aaron's feelings over here with England, but I feel that even with Ben Stokes retiring, my question mark is, have they given themselves that time to look for a replacement? Because to lose an all-rounder like Ben Stokes, it's a huge loss. Look when we lost Callis. There became a huge gap between a batsman and a bowler. And I think England's going to start feeling the same, I feel, in the next game. And I think I feel they should just given themselves a break. Look at figure out who is their suitable replacements and assess. And I just think that's where they're starting to feel it now at the moment. And again, sorry, Aaron, that's where I feel England's slightly in trouble there in that regard. And I say ever so slightly, because they might find their middle order being very fragile. Because I thought today they started off beautifully, but when I look at their list and I think of who's leaving them, as I'm talking to you now, I'm going, wow, I feel, even as a captain on my side, if I just say as a captain, I'm going, wow, that middle order at the moment looks delicious at the moment, because there's so many gaps now. There really is. And I'm just hoping, maybe there's a surprise there. Maybe there is a contingency plan, but it looks rather empty. And then to add what Ravi said, I think Maharaj makes a beautiful centre. I thought he did an Andra Estes or that tackle. I think it was brilliant. But I kind of agree with, as much as we put in question marks on De Kock, I think it's also very difficult just to drop him, because end of the day, he's still very valuable for the team when he does play well. And I do agree. I think there is the chance that they might put Carl in to replace Clarkson, just to bring that rotation policy in, because at the end of the day, sometimes to have a rotational policy is also very healthy, because you always need to keep the competition going. Like I said in the previous comment when I spoke, no player should feel, and I mean no one, as in of the whole 50-man squad, 20-man squad, whatever it goes, no one should feel that my place is secured. Even if you're a captain of a team, you should still feel, wow, Barrage is giving me pressure. So when I'm back on the field, I need to better that. I need to, so that's why I say I feel. But then if you're changing players, also I think with a market also, it also depends what type of game they're trying to play. Because what you must remember, yes, it's hard, but the Basel style of England, you must remember every condition is going to be different. I mean, I can't see you playing aggressive mode in India if you're playing them in India. Sorry, I cannot see that happening, because with India it's a lot slower. There's a lot turn is sharper. So there's question marks for me for there. But again, you know what? Let's call it what it is. It was a very good game, and it goes back to what I said earlier. I just think key is this. South Africa just didn't allow England to settle at all, and I think that also has some sort of factor to play.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, it will be hard for me to currently drop Klaassen. I mean, I've been a guy that has spoken about it in the past, saying that he should be dropped for certain occasions when he wasn't doing well, and I need to maintain that consistency when I'm talking about him right now, because he's currently very much in form. He saved us in quite a few games. He's looking really good. Good against spin. He's been attacking. He's batting at a decent strike rate. He's a different player to Kyle. So if I was going to bring Kyle back into the team, it will be for Rassi or for Rassi or for Aiden in the middle order. I'm not saying that he must. Whoa. I'm just saying if you're going to think about it, you need to drop someone that can. Kyle's in the middle order batter for me. Number 4, number 3, number 4, number 5, but maybe number 5. He's not necessarily a guy that's going to clear the boundary for you. So I think that they like for like replacements need to be made. So for me personally, I'm not. If the guys in form, select him. I think they deserve that. It's the same argument I would have for any of the other guys that I think that I've liked in the past that other people maybe don't like. I would say the same thing over there. Klaassen hasn't done anything to deserve to be dropped. But then when other players that we love and we look at them, we're like, oh my God, we love them so much, and we have to be unbiased there too and say if they're performing poorly and they all form and there's someone else in form waiting, then it's only fair that they get the opportunity. But I think you only make the rotation if it's like for like, me personally, because I don't want our style of cricket and our mentality and our ethos to change too much when you make one particular swap out. And yes, Kyle Verreynne is sitting on 41. And up until this particular game, there was a massive, for me, I think there is a massive guys, I don't know if you follow me. Sorry, I know I'm going off course here, but I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. But I made a joke earlier on. I tried to fish people. I said this attacking brand of that England's playing. Wow, like sweating, right? I made a joke, and I just saw that the convener selector, one of the conveners or selectors, Patrick Benavides, liked it. So that's quite funny. But anyway, let's move on. I still believe that currently this is our best batting lineup. I don't think we need to make any changes over here. Right now,
Can I suggest one?
Kyle Verreynne in. I'm talking about just the batting.
Yeah, I'm talking about the batting.
And then for me, Kyle Verreynne, I know that there was a. I'll come to you now, Aaron. I know that there was an argument for Kyle Verreynne to come in for Aiden, which made a little bit of sense because of his recent form in ODI cricket. I could understand that, but we know that South Africa's mindset is having that extra bowling option. So that is working in Aiden's favor currently, and of course he scored a half century today. His consistency is going to be key. I'm a big fan of Aiden. Everybody knows that. The whole bloody world knows that. So I mean, I want to see Aiden in every single bloody team that gets put out, even if it's an action cricket team. I mean, I used to score 150s, 200s in ODI cricket with him on the 5-over cricket games. So, I'm just joking, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I used to even select. I would select him. He's obviously one of my favorite players, and people know that. So yeah, let's move on from that. I do think that currently, I don't think there should be question marks over Klaassen at all. I think Klaassen's been performing extremely well, and I don't think he deserves to be dropped at this particular time for someone else. If they're looking to rotate, I think that needs to be on current form. But Aaron, you had a suggestion.
Well, yeah, because you just mentioned there that South Africa, if they are looking at this rotational policy, need a dependable middle order batsman, don't they? But also someone who can bowl a little bit of spin, don't they? May I just remind you of a player who scored 180 runs in 6 ODI matches at an average of 45 and has a career best score of 84 against Australia, a certain John Smuts. I'm just saying
Why don't you take him? Sign him a Colpack deal.
I'll take him at Warwickshire. John, if you are watching,
if
you're watching, we need some runs. That's all I'm saying. We could welcome you to Shakespeare's County, but yeah, John Smuts. You didn't think I was going to go an entire show after having a hiatus from Cricket Fanatics magazine without mentioning John Trevor Smuts. Come on now.
This cloud, guys. Let's get you final thoughts in here.
Real life enactment of our WhatsApp groups. Cricket
yeah,
This is exactly what we hear. we have heard more about John Smuts and Heinrich Klaassen than the last week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there. Nkosi says John Smuts to replace Ben Stokes as captain of the ODI team. Here we go. You can go there and then he can become captain also as well. Oh, you can take it away from Bat. Look here, let's get a summary. I'm gonna get Aaron's thoughts first and foremost to wrap up your thoughts on England and maybe some suggestions to South Africa. Then we're gonna go to Justin and then we're gonna end off with Ravi.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Khalid, and thank you for allowing me that little segment about John. But yeah, in terms of the rest of the series, obviously for England, there's a clear plan in place, isn't there? Now we have to score runs quicker. The India series was very disappointing. Today was very underwhelming as well. 271 runs on that surface. Yes, it was slow at times, but we definitely could have batted a lot more sensibly and, of course, with a lot more power as well. So for the rest of the series, from an English perspective, simply looking at the batting, I think the bowling has actually been all right. Could have been better at times today in terms of the radar going slightly astray. But yeah, I think the major issue at the moment is with the bat in hand. In terms of South Africa, more of the same, please. Of course, from Rassie van der Dusen. He did score 95 the last time he played at Old Trafford as well. I was there for that, Australia versus South Africa in the 2019 Cricket World Cup. So again, he looks in ominous touch. But also the openers, that's something I think we want to see, isn't it, for the rest of the series? A commanding opening partnership between Quinton de Kock and Yaneman Malan. I think that'll be the key for the Proteas, as well as creating that bowling pressure as well. And if they can do that, they should win the series, to be honest, against an England side which does look a little bit bereft of confidence in recent times.
I just think I agree with what Aaron said, and I think, look, I think what we can agree on when we're saying rotation, I don't think it's a case of we not liking a certain player or we're disregarding any form. I just think it's just very good to test depth, because you also got to think of the next your next cycle and your next tour, because somewhere along the line I think because we got a lot more bigger games that's coming on also, which you also got to take into account. And then with England, it's a pure example where there's such thing as players can lose form, there can be injuries. So you also need to take into account who's our next players. But then I think for summary, I think what would be good for South Africa at the moment is maybe second one-day international, go for the kill, try and win the one-day international series, and maybe use the third ODI to test out your second string of players, to test your depth, to see do we have 5 other batsmen coming along the ranks? Is there more bowlers that we are unaware of that's coming through the ranks? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't count towards the ICC Super League. So it's not that you're getting points to suddenly qualify, which I actually think this ended off this note by saying I actually think is quite sad, because the one-day series that we did well with India also don't count for the Super League, and now this also. So can you imagine? I'm just going to play devil's advocate right here, and I'm already seeing on your comment section down there, everyone's going to argue about this now. So sorry, Khalid, I'm making your evening a little bit more difficult tonight. But can you imagine if this actually counted there? That's now 40 points up for grabs. Can you imagine we would have been much more better placed in Super League standings by a long shot? And this is where I feel sorry for South Africa to some extent, because the games that we actually are playing well, and we're looking like this well-oiled side that could actually I won't say we'll win the 50 over World Cup, but we're looking like a side that could compete, and you're actually feeling sorry for the guys in that regard, in terms of there's 40 points they could have had, which would have made a big difference. Because we look at New Zealand, they've won, I think, 9 games in a row, and they were also sitting low in the Super League, and suddenly they're looking like, whoa, they're definitely going to be in this World Cup. And you feel sorry for somebody in that regard. Maybe the recent results would lead up to that we should not have been in that position, but you feel sorry that the games we actually did well could have. So I'm going to start it on there, and I'm just going to end it off by saying, is it not beautiful knowing that South Africa is starting to play beautifully well again, because we're starting to win a lot more series at the moment, and at the moment it's actually a lovely conversation to speak about so many players to pick from, where in the beginning there wasn't many to talk about.
I want to, before Ravi, we get to you, maybe Aaron has the answer for this. You're a lot more, how can I say, informed, not informed, but more researched on on world cricket as a whole. And I think you maybe have the answer to this. How do they work out which games are going to be for Super League points or not? Because I mean, it's like I mean, the ICC could have easily just said, no, you know what, guys, we are struggling to find slots with all the cricket that's happening. We need to make this England series for ICC points. We need to make the India tour the ICC points. It was two opportunities lost to do so. I mean, how do they go about actually making making the decision to decide which series are 4 points and which are not 4 points?
Unfortunately, I don't have the answer for that because I don't know the inner workings, but I'd agree it's completely confusing, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I'll tell you who else I feel sorry for, Ireland. You know, Ireland are another team which are becoming a lot better at ODI cricket, and now their series, which initially had a lot more meaning because there's this World Cup qualification on the line, have now just lost all their meaning. It's lost their competitive edge. So I don't know, unfortunately. I will have a look. I'll try and
I mean,
research and find
Can't they
out.
just
But
make all can't they just make all ODIs just for points? I mean, it would make more sense to do it that
problem
way.
is now though, because they've set the precedent of having certain series not having points and not contributing, it's massively uneven in terms of the
Uneven, yeah.
distribution. So I don't know. It's all just a big mess, to be honest, at the moment. And yeah, it's a shame for the one day game.
Mhm. Okay, Ravi, let's get your final thoughts.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be short and sweet around this, but the advantage of South Africa, more of that, as Aaron said, absolutely. I'm all for the rotational policy, not to get rid of good players, but rather to see what other guys are capable of. I shared a tweet earlier today about this is kind of like a revenge sort of match for us because the last time we played England in England, we were humiliated in the opening game of the World Cup. And this for me was, a fantastic return to form because we had so many gaps, noticeable gaps that were picked up on that match. I mean, we saw the acrobatics of Ben Stokes in that match. Today was almost like a polar opposite. It was like we were in an alternative dimension with regards to this particular game. But it was good to see the batters taking ownership of their roles and making the most of the opportunity today. And I look forward to seeing what happens or what will take effect in the second match.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know about this particular the schedules and stuff. It should just be a quick phone call to the boards and say, guys, can we agree that this can be for points? I mean, a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month before the time we know that the series is happening could have been an easy fix. This a call can fix all of that. It shouldn't be so difficult to just decide that from the ICC's point. So I don't know. They need to fix that
Television
because it's
rights,
causing a bit of confusion. Also, with the fixture congestions of all the series missed because of COVID and all of those type of things that happened, they should have made a little bit of a smarter decision with regards to the scheduling situations and understanding that because we'll be playing great cricket against two great teams and it doesn't count for anything. Um, yeah, it's a bit of a shock. And I mean, in the games that we lost as well, in some of the series that we've lost, we never also necessarily had our best teams available, all the players available to us in the ones that did count because of all the scheduling as well. So, yeah, it's crazy that it is like this. Currently, it's actually it could completely spoil an ODI,
You
the
know,
ODI
I have a
game.
suggestion for the ICC. I think they should get like a consultant from Formula One because those dudes have got every single aspect of Formula One covered. From the time where you can take DRS to the cars, what the tires need to look like, what the temperature is on the road. They've thought about everything, those guys. So
Yeah.
that's what I would suggest to the ICC. If you want a real lateral thinking approach to all of this, reach out to Formula One. Perhaps not Bernie Eccleston himself. He's in a bit of hot water right now, but definitely the rest of the F1 executive. Just find somebody, get a consultant to look at the entire World Test Championship scenario as well as the one-day international championship scenario as well.
Yeah, and Rashid has explained it nicely. He says the ICC FTP has some number of matches fixed for all to make it fair and square. Those games decided later are understandably not part of the Super League, and I get that. But I mean, my point is, if, like for example, now with what happened with Australia, now we're missing it. Okay, yes, it's our own fault. We are missing it out of choice here, for another event. But yeah, I just think there should be a better way of obviously planning these things. I think a lot of nations will probably complain about it. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks, Aaron, for coming on. We're going to see a lot more of him throughout the series. Guys, it's a long tour. We've got a T20 series. We've got this ODIs. We've got the Test series. We're going to see a lot of Aaron. So get used to him over here. Prepare yourselves for some entertainment on this particular channel with Aaron's concerned. But guys, smash the like button, get involved with the comment section, download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. Doesn't cost you anything. Click on the link and subscribe, please, guys. Also become a patron if you want to help us promote South African cricket. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. There's a report currently from a buy on the match if you want to read that as well. So go ahead to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. Follow Aaron as well and all of the guys on the platform as well. Follow them too. I'm just going to show you the display names there for you. Wait, I've got overlay. Get that away. Okay, that's where you can follow them. These guys, please follow them. Great comments on cricket, etc. and tweets. We need Ravi makes some excellent tweets that don't get any retweets and likes and shit. So please go and follow him and do that, please. He put some excellent tweets out there. Get him in. Go follow him and get involved there, and you have some great discussions with Ravi as well. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. We play again when on Aaron Friday. So Thursday it's between tomorrow. Perhaps we'll do tomorrow a preview show. I think that will be a good idea, and then Wednesday we'll do a filler show in between. Maybe we can do like a squad selection or
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yeah, so I mean tomorrow's Wednesday, so we'll probably do a preview, and then on Thursday we'll probably do sorry, that's what I meant. And then Thursday maybe we can do a game or something with the fans as well, or we can move our Q&A forward actually, because if Friday's the match, we're gonna have a late show, so maybe we can do a Q&A on Friday. But guys, I'll decide that later. But I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another preview show. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day, your evening. And if I don't see you again the rest of the week too. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.